Alright guys, so this is the setup that we're going to work with. This is my King Tiger diorama in the Ardennes. As you can see, the King Tiger is done. This part of the diorama you could just ignore, as we will be working on this side underneath the King Tiger mainly. And we have the cobblestone road here that is like breaking up the flow of the diorama in a bit. And we will be using the mud in order to create the tracks that the King Tiger might have left over in the forest ground. Although it was very cold in late 44 in the Ardennes, this thing weighed 65 tons. And if a 65-ton KT runs over forest ground, that will get torn to pieces, torn to shreds, and will get muddy instantaneously. So we will create nice muddy surface all around here to create muddy tracks for the King Tiger. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to go and put mud in between here. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not. But we will see this. And yes, so I guess let's go over and I'll show you guys exactly the materials I'll be using. Alright guys, the materials I'll be using will be these. This is Scenic Factory Scenic Mud Ardennes Forest Wet Kit. And I got this from the United States, from Scenic Factory. You can go online on YouTube and I will link you up to this. They have a nice video of how to do this. And they have other awesome products that I will be stocking up on in like a couple of days. It's only the shipping that is, well, a pain in the ass for me over here in Germany. But the products are so good that they are worth it. Come with colored instructions on how to do everything. We will go over these in just a bit. This is not in the kit actually. I bought this. The kit comes with a big jar. This is the big one, the 120 milliliter jar of This is the basic mud mix. The light-bodied version that does not have the debris and stuff in it, but the debris comes separate. And we have a bit of acrylic clear that allows us to create wet surfaces. The debris that comes is moss, dead branch, twig, fern, and pine sticks. And I will be using all of them to create a very, very nice surface, I think. And I will be adding some of those birch seeds to simulate fallen leaf. What we need other than that is water, a toothbrush, wooden applicator stickies. This is a popsicle stick to use to smear on the mud. A bowl in which we can mix the stuff. And I will be using track stamps to imprint tracks and wheel marks into the mud as well, in order to make it look more realistic. So, and of course, rubber gloves. So now we've seen all the materials I'll be using, so why don't we just go over to the bench, and or we are actually at the bench, so why don't we just put this all aside, get the diorama base out here, and start applying the crap. Here we go. Alright guys, we are now ready to start our application of the mud, using the mud. And I've already removed the shrink wrap that is around the tub. As you can see, this has a nice muddy, full texture. We use the spatula. A bit like chocolate ice cream. And we put it in there, and then we reseal the top really well. We then use our bags of stuff and take like 1/3 out of each bag and add it to the mix. Other than, of course, the big pine sticks, we will be adding those later on. For a more in-depth look at how to do this, you could go to the website, to the link that I linked earlier and might link again, so you guys can see exactly how it is supposed to be done in case I do it wrong. And then we want to mix it really, really well. Really good. Give it a good mix, sturdy. Mix it all up until we get like a very thick, muddy grain, and then we add it to the surface here. And as you can see, I might have not made enough of it, or have we not mixed it good enough, as it is a bit very tacky right now. We will be using a brush to better get it into the like close to the road. Might just be me being too stupid to apply it honestly here, as the tutorial actually is rather easy to understand, and yes, as I kind of hinted at, I used not enough. I need to use more. A lot more actually. Almost used the entire jar, I think. But that's not a problem. As we can just as well reopen the jar and take out more. Actually, all of it. And I have to say, I've received some flack on the internet for buying this mud from some of my friends on YouTube and Facebook. As they said, that's quite a bit of expensive mud there. Which is true. It is not cheap, but I think it is well worth it. And I hope we will see that once we see the results in the end. I might have applied it a bit thick though, so I might thin it down a bit. I really like the texture of it. It looks really muddy and really, honestly, fucked up. And I don't know about you guys, but I really like it if my mud looks like really, really muddy. As I said, I have applied a really thick coat here. You can thin this down, and I might have to thin it down a bit just to cover all the areas that I want to cover here. And of course you want to protect the rest of your diorama from being mudded up. now that we've reached this point, let's move over to the brush, a stiff brush that will allow to blend in the mud to the street like this. It really does so quite well, I have to say. I actually used the Tamiya dark earth soil to create a surface underneath the mud, which I think is a very good brownish color to start off with, in case you wondered what the brownish color underneath was. That's the Tamiya dark earth. Alright, so that's the application of the basic mud. As this is, within a forest, we can now go and add some material that will be laying around in a forest on top, like sticks, branches, twigs, that stuff like that, moss, fern. We take our brush and we try and get it into this. This is my first time ever using this material, and I have to say I'm quite impressed so far. Of course, I cannot come to a final conclusion on the product until I've seen the final results, and I'm quite chuffed for those. They will come. I hope they are just as good as what I think of it so far. Alright, that's that. The mud is quite sticky, just to say the least, here to my brush. Add some dead branch. All of this is glycerin preserved. I want to put more of the dead branch in the areas where the actual wood starts. Okay, those are awesome here. Those pine sticks are really cool. I gotta remember, all of this comes with a kit, and you won't use all of it, especially here on the pine sticks. There's quite some left over for other and later projects. Okay, so you want to put them in here into your mud, maybe cover them a bit in it, and press them in, put some of it on top. That's quite nice. Okay, so now the fun starts. Wait, not yet. Gotta put some of my leaves on top of it too. Okay, so that's that. As I said, this is quite thick, and I think I might have applied it a bit too thick, but that's not a problem, at least not to me, because once the tank tracks go in, it's becoming even thicker. Now, I was a bit too fast here, I guess, so now I have to get back my KT so I can see where the KT tracks are going. And then I use the self-made King Tiger track stamp that I made to create the KT tracks. I made this from some leftover magic track links of KTs that I had lying around. And just go over this with just a slight hint of pressure. Take the KT back, see if this is exactly where you wanted it to be, and then move over to the other side here and imprint your KT tracks. Of course, all the stuff, the debris that is in your track here will now get moved and pressed into your tracks, which is exactly what you want. You got to be careful. I think I used a bit too much water here on my my tool. And as you can see, I might have used a bit too less mud on the sides. So I take some out of the middle, reapply it to the outside here because it's still nice and wet. So I can still move it and manipulate it. And take it out here, put it there where I want it to be. That's maybe the only thing that I have to criticize a bit, is the amount of mud that you get in the kit might be a bit, it could be a bit more, especially for a big mud kit, because let's face it, this is not damn. Because now I'm a bit scrambling here to get everything where I need it to be. But that might be my fault and not the fault of the product or the Scenic Factory here. That might just be me being a bit too stupid to do it. But overall, I really like the look of the King Tiger tracks that I've imprinted. And now just to see how this looks and if this is exactly what I want it to be, I'll take my KT, take out the gloss of course, take out the KT and see if this is okay, and I think it is. I'll just lie it on the side so that Alright, so now that this is done, we are not entirely done with what we're doing here, because we want to cover the mud with a bit more of the debris. As there's still a lot of debris left in the bags that we don't want to waste. Of course, we will not use all of it. There might be other diorama projects, and of course the inner forest that I'll be doing in the back will need some debris as well. So use a bit more twig, and we need a bit more fern here to make it a bit more color varied. So and even though you think you'll cover it all with the tank in the end, never, don't be too, let's say, too careful with it. You want it to be muddy, you want it to be color varied. And I think that using the tank tool, just going over this, you will imprint it nicely into your mix, add nice texture, and then you want to use 1 or 2 more pine sticks just to make sure everything is blended in nicely. So let's face it, a 65-ton KT has just gone over this. Alright guys, I will now move the rest around here, make it look as good as I can, and we'll then come back and show you guys the final results. So back in a bit. Alright guys, so here we have the final results of my Scenic Factory Ardennes Forest mud experiment, or not experiment, but application. And I have to say I'm really happy with the way it looks. I added a bit of clear. The stuff is still not totally dried, although I have it, on for like 19 hours now, and it has been drying for 19 hours. I think it might need a bit, like another 5, 6, 7 hours to fully dry. As you can see, I imprinted the tank tracks. I can show you guys how it looks with the tank on. And of course I need to add a bit more onto the sides here to make it look more realistic, but I think the look that it has right now is cool. And I can show you guys, I've put down a small track for the Schwimmwagen right there, where the Schwimmwagen went through, the Kugelwagen. And so this is how it looks, and I have to say I'm really impressed with the way it turned out in the end. And yeah, I can only say that if I had to do it all over again, I would do it all over again, and that the money I spent was money well spent, because I really like the results that I achieved. And the only real downside to the product is the fact that you only get that little amount of mud, the mud stuff. Because of the debris stuff, I still have tons left, but the mud, actually, you have to see how to cover larger areas. So I might just do some homemade mud or ground cover for the rest of the diorama, but it will be covered with forest ground and trees anyway, so I'm not that concerned about that. So this sums up this project, or this product testing review kind of video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys now know more about this product and about this company. And I hope that the people that have criticized me for getting expensive mud now know why I got it, and maybe are now either impressed by the product as much as I am, or feel that what they said to me is justified, and if that's the case, so be it. I think that getting it was justified, but never mind. And it's a nice product. I like the look of it. I hope you guys like it too. I guess I'll see you guys around in the next video. This is How Modeling for so long. Bye guys.